Welcome to our predictions for AEW Dynasty 2024. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
And we're back. We're predicting AEW Dynasty, which, top to bottom, hell of a card.
Yeah, this is a strong card. I can think of one match that needs to be removed, but aside from that, good match. Good card.
This is Roderick Strong erasure.
It is not Roderick Strong, I can tell you that.
All right, we're going to go right in order based on what's on the Wikipedia. So we're starting with the pre-show, the 0 hour, the buy-in, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, yes, the Masters of Ass, versus Bullet Club Gold, Jay White and the Guns for the AEW World Trios Championship and the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships. Winner take all. Who do you got?
If Bullet Club Gold doesn't win,
then what are we doing here?
Like, just what are we doing here?
Then what are we doing?
Absolutely no sense. First off, this should not be on the pre-show. This should be on the main card.
Yes.
It just should be. Why is Chris Jericho on the main card and not this? Like, this is for a real title, you know?
Yes.
But whatever. Aside from that, like, this is, I think it'll be fine enough. I'm so sick of these two teams going at it. I feel like it's been a year. Or pretty much since Jay White debuted at this point, that these two have been either in cahoots or going at each other's necks. It's so dumb. Just let Bullet Club Gold win. Let Jay White pin whoever the hell he has to pin in order to win this match, because it should be Jay White going over. Because what are we doing here with this Jay White top guy erasure? It's ridiculous. Let them win the titles. Let them combine the two titles.
Yes.
And let's just get on with our lives.
We don't need two sets of trios titles. Yeah, give it to Bullet Club Gold. Give it to them. It's what's meant to happen. Also on the pre-show, the newly heel and very invigorated Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. Who do you got, and why is it Trent?
Because he just turned heel. Like,
he needs it.
That's why.
He has a story. Matt has nothing.
Yeah, like Double or Nothing. He's probably going to face Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
And we'll get there eventually, but in a couple, what is it, like 2 months from now?
Yeah.
But or next month, actually. It's at the end of May.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we'll get there eventually, but in order to do that, listen, if he can't beat fucking Evan Bourne, what are we doing here? You know, like,
solidarity with my fellow Evan, but yeah, Matt Sydal's got nothing going on. Trent Beretta has a clear push, a clear plan. You know, things are happening in the van. He's turned Chris heel, probably. That's happening. So it's got to happen. It's gonna be Trent.
Yes, it's gonna be Trent, and I'm kind of excited about it because I want to see Trent with some fire. You know, a little renewed energy. Not that I don't like the Best Friends or anything, but Trent's just, you know, it's really easy to fall back into, oh, we're an over tag team who doesn't really have to do much and can lose because, you know, we've got cred. Yeah. Like, it's really easy to not get excited by that. And now
what a
heel turn, all this
what
other
a surprising
stuff,
heel turn. That was a very surprising heel turn.
It happened in front of me. I was there when it happened.
You were there. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I screamed.
Let's talk about the person that he turned heel on. Orange Cassidy teaming with Katsuyori Shibata in what a hell of a tag team against Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Who you got?
I really want to pick the babyface because, like, there's no way Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata are going to lose, right? There's, like, no way. It's Shibata. Why would he lose a match? All this other stuff. But I just feel like Shane Taylor Promotions kind of needs a big win right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Shane Taylor Promotions in this one.
Interesting.
Obviously, it's going to be like a fluky win. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Trent comes back out and costs Orange Cassidy the match to, like, maybe he gets knocked out by someone or whatever, and that leads to Shane Taylor Promotions getting to the win. But STP needs a big one, and I think this is where they're going to get it.
I agree STP would benefit from a win. They're not having Orange Cassidy lose, and I don't think they're having Shibata lose to Shane Taylor Promotions. They can have some tag wins over some other teams instead, but no, I'm going with the babyfaces, OC and Shibata. All right, on to the main show proper. This really weird team of Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe take on the unit known as the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. Who do you got and why?
Look, There's only one way we really set up Malachi Black against Adam Copeland, and that's if the House of Black wins. So I'm gonna go with the House of Black.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it's Malachi pinning Copeland, but I highly doubt it. I think Eddie Kingston's unfortunately going to take the fall here. So that's how it is. That's just how it's going to have to be.
Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe are literally like they had the brawl for the title. I don't know. I could still see there being something there, some sort of miscommunication. Maybe they keep the feud going a little bit. Probably not, but who knows?
Probably not. They're boys.
They're boys. Yeah, they do want to get towards Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black, which is a great feud. I think has lots of legs and lots of potential. I agree with you. House of Black, Malachi Black specifically picking up the pin. I think it'd be better if it was on Adam Copeland, but you're right. It probably will be on Eddie Kingston. Because Eddie Kingston, like, what does he care? You get pinned by Malachi Black, he'd be like, okay, cool.
Everyone loves Eddie.
That's true. Everybody does love Eddie. Everybody also loves Hook for good reason. Hook rules. Send Hook. Not everybody loves.
Evan, look at the sign.
I see the sign. Does it say send Hook?
No, it just says Hook.
Just says Hook. Hook is defending the FTW championship in an FTW rules match against Lionheart Chris Jericho. I know we're both on Hook.
Hook. I could see Jericho doing a stupid heel thing, but this match shouldn't even be on this pay-per-view. This is like this is a Rampage main event if I've ever seen one. Hook should win. He should get Chris Jericho away. Just let him go away. I'm done with the Jericho thing for now. Like
I'm actually probably good for ever. I think I'm good.
Just give me like a year away. Just go away for a year. Come back and
go on so many cruises. Your own cruise, other cruises.
Fozzy World Tour.
Fozzy World
We'll show
Tour.
up in Japan. Do a run in Mexico, something like that.
No,
somewhere
I need
where
him
I don't
away
have to see you.
I need him away from a wrestling ring for 12 months. The way that he latches on to young talent who are over is unbelievable.
Like, what's next? Are we getting the feud with Julia Hart? Like,
maybe. Who knows?
It's not House of Black, just Julia Hart, straight up. Young talent. What is she? 21? Young enough.
We'll talk about Julia Hart in a second, but first, the old Undisputed Era explodes. Roderick Strong defends the AEW International Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. Who do you have in this one?
What is it?
Yeah.
This is interesting. This
is very interesting.
No, I think Roddy, because I think it's, he only really turned heel on Kyle O'Reilly like a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago.
It feels very fresh.
Yeah, and it feels really soon to put Kyle in that limelight, So I think it's going to be Roddy retaining here. Not, he's not going to do it clean.
No, the whole Undisputed Kingdom is going to come help him.
It seems like Cole is a little bit of a ways away. We got to just keep Undisputed Era chugging along as best we can. And Roddy needs the win more than Kyle O'Reilly does at this point.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if later down the line, Kyle is the person to take the belt off of Roddy, but I don't think it's now.
I mean, listen, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are destined to do this forever. So
true.
All roads lead to that. But right now, Roderick Strong is the roadblock.
The strong roadblock. I like it.
Yes.
I said we'd get to Julia Hart in a second, and we are right now. Julia Hart defending the AEW TBS Championship in a house rules match against Willow Nightingale. Who do you got?
I'm of two minds with this.
Okay.
I think Willow's gonna win because we have to get the Willow Mercedes match.
That's where we're going.
Double or Nothing, right? Like that has to be what it's gonna be. But at the same time, I could see Chris Statlander turning heel and costing her the match here. And if that does happen, I don't know, maybe Julia drops it to Chris Statlander on the build to Double or Nothing. We get a triple threat match going at Double or Nothing, possibly. That just seems like a whole lot of messiness that I don't want to be a part of. So for now, I'll say Willow wins the match outright, and then Chris Statlander turns heel afterwards.
I like that you talked yourself out of it, because as you were saying it, I was like, I don't see the beats You know what I mean? Like sometimes after you see you talk out like, oh, what would happen if this happened? Like, what are the beats going to look like? I think it's a much cleaner story if it happens where Willow wins the title and then we get Willow versus Mercedes, and that's kind of the way the
Yeah.
story goes. I think that makes the most sense. I'm very excited for Mercedes versus Willow. That's going to
Yeah.
be
It was good
really
up
good.
until her injury.
Yeah.
You know, like it's they're both really really good wrestlers. Apparently Mercedes isn't even like cleared, which is why they announced the match for Double or Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, apparently she's like, well, not cleared as far, but she's still like rehab. It was a really bad sprain.
Apparently.
Like by all account, not by all accounts, I know this from firsthand experience. Like if you sprain your ankle, unless it's like a really light sprain, like a light sprain, like you're probably better off breaking your ankle because at least it'll heal and just go right back to the way it was. A sprain, especially like one of a high level, it's never going to be the same again.
That's so
Um,
annoying.
yeah,
I hate those lingering injuries. They're just there forever.
like it's never going to be the same again. So I wouldn't be shocked if she just had like such a high degree of a sprain that she's just like still working it off because it's just like messed up.
Damn. Okay. We move on to another title match. God, AEW has a lot of belts. Holy jumping.
I know, but this one's spitting right
This
here.
is real good. The AEW Continental Championship is on the line. Kazuchika Okada defending against Pac. Who do you got in this banger?
Okada's never going to lose. My theory is that Okada's going to go 500-0 in AEW and then return back to New Japan. But in order to get there, he has to continue the O. So he's got to beat Pac here. And now I'm removing my fanboy element of it because, as we all know, everyone who listens to this podcast, I think Kazuchika Okada is probably the best wrestler of all time. So in lieu of that, I will say that he's going to retain. But it'll be a nice match. Honestly, if this weren't on the same card as Ospreay versus Danielson, this would be match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah. Does Okada win clean?
Ooh, I want to say yes, because I think that the way they have built him up has been kind of a clean
I think that makes sense.
sort of performer. When it's just him.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't be shocked if it's by nefarious means, as far as like, oh, he put his foot on the rope for a certain move, not like for the final pinfall,
Yeah.
but like, maybe he like does some illegal things and to get out of like a Black Arrow or Pac's Rings of Saturn, where he
Like a
like
thumb to the
gouges
eye.
God.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I think for the most part, yeah, it'll be a clean win for Okada.
If Okada could also beat Goldberg's record so that Goldberg can't just complain about Asuka, that would be unbelievable. I would appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have Okada. Like, I love Pac, but it's not time. I thought about being contrarian and picking Pac, but just I don't. Again,
You're not beating Okada.
I don't see the beats. I don't see how it gets there. All right, we got some ladder action. It is the finale to the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. It is the Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson versus FTR, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler in that ladder match for the vacant titles. Who do you got pulling down the belts?
Real Glass.
Real Glass.
I think that we get the re-emergence of Jack Perry to help the Young Bucks beat FTR. Jack Perry's joining the Elite. And the Young Bucks get the belts back for a third time, I think it is. The belts that they had just lost. The whole reason for this tournament is because they lost to a guy who was retiring.
Nice. So you think that it's back to the Bucks?
It's going right back to the Bucks because of Jack Perry.
We have been way too in sync this entire prediction, so I'm swerving, and I'm going to try to convince myself as I say it. FTR is going to win the belts. Why? I have no reason why, but I just because the FTR, you know what? They look good with belts. They're two guys who look good with belts on. They just some guys don't look good with belts.
Beat for beat, with the next beats. What's the next beat when they win?
I don't have that yet, but we had been too in sync. We can't have the only thing we differ on be OC and Shibata versus STP. We can't have it. So, because I know we're going to be in sync for the last three. So I got to go with FTR here just because Why not? Don't let me down, boys. Go FTR.
Yes, boy.
Those are my boys. All right. The AEW Women's Championship on the line in a singles match. Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. Who do you got and why?
Toni Storm, because I think that there are so many ways that we can go with this. There is a woman by the name of Jamie Hayter who will be returning at some point this year.
Yep.
And I want her to be the one to take that title off of Toni Storm because it's deserved, preferably at Wembley. Also, Toni's on the run of her life right now. Like, this is incredible. She's doing great, terrific work. And there's like, again, it's the beats thing. Like, I can see a future, or I could see how they book out the next couple of months for Toni. I really can't see what they do with Thunder after this. Like, what, you're just going to pair her up against Mariah May or something like that? Like, that doesn't work for me either.
No.
I could see it being one of those situations where, she's been having some tensions with Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa, who's very much, I have to say, very much in line with what the Toni Storm character is all about. I know they just had a match at the last pay-per-view, Revolution. But it honestly wouldn't shock me if Deonna costs Thunder the match and then goes along with the timeless Toni Storm little entourage.
Oh, like gets on board.
Gets on board. Wouldn't be the first time. Happened like 3 times with Jey Uso.
Hop. And Jimmy just keeps going back. Jimmy doesn't know what his life is like without it. I agree. Toni Storm, legendary run right now. I want Mariah May to be the one to take the title off Toni Storm. I want the All About Eve story to play out in full.
Interesting. I like it, but I also like Jamie Hayter more. So
that's fair. I think that, if they're doing the old Hollywood where the upstart replaces the aging star, which is weird because it's Toni Storm,
becomes the heel.
Yeah. And she could, and that's the thing is, we could easily have this run. Toni Storm becomes face. Like, I'm thinking this is long term, buddy. I want Mariah May to be the one to take the belt off first, so Toni Storm has to retain against Thunder Rosa. It's just the way it needs to be. Okay, match of the night time. Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay in just a banger between two lads.
The slapper of all slappers.
It's gonna be heat. It's gonna be unbelievable. Who do you got? Why is it Ospreay?
Well, because Will Ospreay is the top guy in the company.
He's the top guy right now.
Like, he's their top babyface. And he's the most popular act. Like, he is so incredibly good. I'm not saying you put the belt on him as soon as possible, because no, you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, you shouldn't just let him lose. This is going to be incredible. Danielson is the most giving individual in wrestling. So I could absolutely see a situation where he's just like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that Will Ospreay looks like $1 billion. And because of that, they are going to pull out what I believe will be a 5-star match. I think this is going to be absolutely insane. And yeah, it's going to end with Will Ospreay winning. How? Whether he makes Danielson tap or whatever. I know he's not going to do. I pray he doesn't do the Tiger Driver 91. I don't need that. I also don't want him to do the Hidden Blade. Just Stormbreaker, or what is that what he calls it? Yeah, Stormbreaker. And just call it a night. Boys, let's go home.
I think this match is going to have some of the greatest near falls we've seen in a long time. I think that there are going to be, because that's the thing is, both Danielson and Ospreay can get us to genuinely believe that they're going to let Danielson get the win. Ospreay, like you said, is the number one babyface in the company, not named Swerve, because I still think Swerve, based on his storyline, is in the number one
based
spot.
On the positioning, yes. Yeah. But I think that organically, Ospreay is the
and long-term projection, it's Ospreay for sure. So Ospreay gets the win here. Speaking of Swerve Strickland, he's in the main event. It's him against Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. Is it actually Swerve's house?
Yes, it is. I think this is where it ends. I really, 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 really wanted Joe to have a longer title run, more than just the 3-4 months that he will have. Actually, four.
Yeah.
Change. that he's going to be getting here, but it's time. You just when someone is as over and is getting like such a demand from the audience, like I can confirm. I was there for shows like they came for big business and they came in Worcester, Massachusetts a few weeks ago. I can confirm how over Swerve is with the crowd. He is big time over.
Yep.
And I think when a guy's getting that genuine reactions, like when he is just organically so pushed, because remember the guy was a heel 4 months ago. Um,
Yeah.
and when he's just
You're not usually babyface with Prince Nana. That's not
yeah,
normally what happens.
no. And when you just become a baby face to the degree that he has, you just gotta crown him. You can't. Here's my thing, especially with this match is, let's say Hangman gets involved, costs him the belt, right? How do we get back to the title if you're Swerve?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. How do you justify technically losing to Joe twice already and going back? Like, it doesn't work. Regardless of the circumstances, it doesn't work. So yeah, you just let him win. You put the title on him now, and you worry about it later. He's the biggest babyface in the company, and it's just time. We need some goodwill around here, and Swerve winning the title is what's going to bring it.
Who's next for Swerve? I guess who's first for Swerve? Because I also have Swerve
Hangman.
winning. Yeah. It's going to be Swerve Hangman. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a double or nothing. It's already built in. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do much. That's another reason kind of why I want him to win is, like, all right, so it's Joe wins. Who's next for Joe? Is it Ospreay? Are you going to push Ospreay to the
Right
main event,
away?
double or nothing
That
right
feels
away?
too early.
Exactly.
That
Like,
feels too
that
early.
doesn't work for me, brother. So we're gonna give it a Swerve. We're gonna let Hangman come back around to him for a double or nothing, and then let him have a beautiful little babyface run throughout the summer too.
A beautiful babyface run through the summer, all swerving all day. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. We disagree on only two. I picked FTR because you picked the Young Bucks, and I thought we were picking too many of the same matches. And you took Shane Taylor Promotions when I took Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata. I almost guarantee that we are going to split this. I think
How
we
much do
both.
you want to bet that if like how absolutely pissed would you be if STP like loses and then like the Bucks win
Yeah, because
and you just picked it just for the hell of it, but you could have just won?
Yeah, we're gonna like I said, we're gonna go even. I'm very
You
confident in
could have
Cassidy
just
and
won.
Shibata. I could have just won, but I didn't because I wanted content for you, the people. Speaking of you, the people, you should follow us on social media. You should hit subscribe down below. We're on the road to 275 now. On the road to 275 here on YouTube. At Crossbody of Work on Twitter, on Instagram. The merch link, it's in the bio. Make sure you check out our podcast, Crossbody of Work. This week, we covering the Wild Samoans. Episode drops overnight Sunday into Monday, so check it out there. We also have some special episodes coming out soon. We're doing a
Yes,
book
sir.
review. The
Hoo-hoo.
boys can read. Surprise, surprise. All right, we'll be back soon for another round of predictions whenever there's a big show in wrestling. We will talk to you then.
Bruv.